all of that said, though, electricity can also be somewhat dangerous if you're not careful with electricity. Because can you see electricity? It's hard to see electricity, isn't it? And because you can't see electricity, sometimes you could get into trouble because electricity always wants to go to ground. And so it might be suspended in a wire that's insulated through an insulator. But if anything goes wrong and you touch that wire or the wire falls down, the electricity wants to go to ground. Now, you've probably heard in your science class, haven't you, about some very basic equations of electricity, right? You've heard of voltage, right? The voltage, you've heard of current, and you've heard of resistance. So essentially, on the wires, we have voltage. And now we have different pieces of metal or wires that are conductors that conduct electricity where the current can flow. So what are good sources of what's a good conductor? Can you tell me? Metals, absolutely. Metals are great conductors. And what kind of metals? That's right, copper. Copper is a great conductor of electricity. And we used to use a lot of copper on our power lines. But copper is also very, very heavy and very expensive. So there's another metal that we can now use that's a little bit better. Do you know what it is? That's right, aluminum. So aluminum is a lot lighter. It doesn't weigh as much, and it's still a great conductor of electricity. Now, what's a good resistor of electricity? Do you know what a good resistor of electricity is? That's right, rubber. Rubber is a great resistor of electricity. What? Plastic? That's right, plastic can resist some electricity. And wood? Wood can sometimes resist electricity. All depends how dry it is. But for the most part, wood is a living product and it has water in it. Is water a good resistor of electricity? No, water is a good conductor of electricity, especially salt water. So that's why electricity can be dangerous to the human body, because what is the human body made of? Human body is made of mostly water, isn't it? We have blood, which is mostly made of water, and then even in all of our tissues, the skin, it's mostly made of water. So the problem is water conducts electricity. So if you touch a wire that it has electricity in it, and the electricity always wants to go to ground, the electricity will go through your body to ground. And then what happens is that with the current that's going to be flowing through your body, it's going to cause heat. And heat is not good because it's going to make water boil. Remember what we said about generating electricity? Well, in this case, if you touch electricity and the current flows through you, it's going to cause heat. That could cause the water, your body, to boil, to burn. It could cause your heart to stop beating. It could cause your lungs so you can't breathe. And it takes very, very little current to cause that to happen. So that's why we want to have a module here today to talk about electricity and where electricity is around us and how we can be careful around electricity so no one gets hurt. So now that we know the effect of electricity on the human body, you might ask, how come the employees of Nova Scotia Power can work around the power lines and stay safe? Great question. Well, the employees of Nova Scotia Power are very specialized, very trained to work around electricity. What they have is they have special tools, such as this rubber glove. So these are not just normal gloves. These are very specialized rubber gloves tested for high voltage electricity. They're not very good for me as an electrical engineer to work on my computer. As you can see, it'd be kind of difficult. But our power line technicians, those men and women, they can use these gloves and work around the power lines and use the tools that they have. One such tool is what we call a hot stick. This hot stick here is a very special tool as well. It's insulated, and with this stick they can reach into devices such as fuses, fuse cutouts, etc., open fuses and close fuses, and operate devices, again using the rubber gloves. So very specialized devices and very specialized people that work them. Other items that they have are insulators. Insulators at the top of the poles. So this is how they build a power line. So to keep the wire up in the air, they have to have insulators because electricity always wants to go down to ground. So they put an insulator like this on a distribution pole, and that keeps the electricity away from ground. And using either their rubber gloves or some tools, they can install the wire on these insulators. Sometimes they want to maybe cover up some of the wire so they don't have to go too close to the electricity that's exposed. So in those cases, they might put what we call cover up, like these rubber mats here they lay on top of the conductor, and then they become an insulator so that the power line technician can get closer to the work site and work without being in danger of electricity. Now these cover-up are very, very heavy, so therefore we don't leave them on the line for very long because they weigh too much. So they install them when they're working and then they remove them afterwards. They are also kept very clean to make sure that there's no contamination that would conduct electricity. And sometimes they have to work close to the pole, and these cover-ups can't really fit on the wire near the pole, so they have what we call blankets. Something like this here, a blanket that they can kind of wrap around the insulator on the pole, and then it covers up all of the electricity right at the pole. So these are the specialized tools, some of the specialized tools that our power line technicians use every day to work on the power lines in Nova Scotia. One other aspect that they have is they have power trucks. Have you seen the power trucks around in Nova Scotia? Those big white trucks? Well, those big white trucks are very specialized trucks. What happens is they have booms that go up way up in the air so the power line can go closer and work from the bucket in the truck. And those trucks, those booms are very specialized. They're insulated booms, they're clean, they're kept very clean so that the power line technician can work safely up in the air. So this is how we keep our power line technicians safe every day so that they can keep electricity flowing to you in your home.